The Kindest Woodcutter. Once upon a time, in a quaint little village nestled deep in the heart of a dense forest, there lived a humble woodcutter named Thomas. Thomas was known throughout the village for his hard work, honesty, and, most of all, his kind heart. Thomas lived in a small cottage on the edge of the village with his wife, Martha, and their 2 young children, Sarah and David. Every day, Thomas would wake up before the sun, grab his trusty axe, and venture into the forest to collect firewood. The forest was thick with tall trees, and Thomas had become an expert at choosing just the right ones to cut down for their firewood. One chilly morning in the middle of winter, Thomas set out for the forest as usual, with his children watching him go. They knew that their father's work was not easy, especially during the cold months when the snow covered the ground. Thomas trudged through the snow, his breath visible in the frosty air, until he found a suitable tree. With a few well-aimed swings of his axe, the tree fell, and Thomas began the arduous task of cutting it into smaller logs. As he was working, he heard a faint, pitiful cry coming from deeper in the forest. Curious and concerned, he followed the sound and stumbled upon a shivering, injured bird. Its wing was bent at an awkward angle, and it looked helpless. Thomas carefully picked up the injured bird and realized it was a beautiful robin. He gently cradled it in his rough, calloused hands and decided to take it home with him. His heart ached for the little creature, and he knew he couldn't leave it to die alone in the cold forest. When he returned home, his family was surprised to see him carrying the injured robin. Martha immediately heated some water and found a cozy place for the bird to rest. Thomas and his family cared for the robin day and night, nursing it back to health. They fed it, kept it warm, and splinted its injured wing. Weeks passed, and the robin's wing slowly healed. During its stay, it became like a member of their family. The children named it Ruby, because of its bright red feathers. One sunny day, when Ruby's wing had fully healed, Thomas and his family gathered in their backyard. Thomas gently placed Ruby on his outstretched hand and said, "It's time for Ruby to return to the forest, to be with its own kind." With a flutter of wings, Ruby took off and landed on a nearby tree branch. It chirped happily, as if thanking the woodcutter and his family for their kindness. From that day on, Ruby visited Thomas and his family regularly, singing sweet songs of gratitude. The village soon heard about Thomas's act of kindness, and his reputation for being a compassionate and caring woodcutter grew. People from all around came to him not only for firewood but also for advice and help. Thomas had become not just the best woodcutter in the village but also the kindest and most beloved. And so, in a small village nestled in the heart of a dense forest, a simple act of kindness had turned a humble woodcutter into a beloved figure, reminding everyone that even in the hardest of times, a little compassion and empathy could make the world a better place for all.